Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are going to be doing a beautiful card using lots. When I say lots, we're using lots because there are so many beautiful things that we can coordinate together. And the lovely thing about Stampin' Up is that everything works together. So let's start with, we are going to use a card base. Normal card base, as I've said, piece of your normal cardstock, cut in half, folded in half, that gives your base. Then we have some layers. Now, we are using some stitches. So, in fact, we're using 3 different stitched dies. We're using the rectangle stitched dies. We're using the new nested, stitched nested labels dies. And we are using the favourites, which are the, I think they're just called, let me get those ones out. They are called, I think they're stitched. So many different stitches. Let me get them out and show you. So we have the rectangle. So this is the largest of the rectangle stitched framelets. Then we have the new one, which is the stitched nested labels dies. That's the largest of the stitched nested label dies. Then we have the stitched shapes framelets, which are circles and ovals and squares, and we are using a circle. So we've got 3 lots of stitches going on. We are then using 2 different punches. So we're using the, in fact, no, we've got one more. We've got one more framelit, and that's the Well Written, which has all of the lovely sayings in there, which are absolutely beautiful. I will put links below down to all of these products so you can go across and have a look at them. We are using 2 different punches. So we are using the leaf punch. Let me just get up and I can show you that one. So that's the leaf punch, which punches out the beautiful little leaves. And we are then using the duet butterfly punch, which punches out the little tiny butterfly that we're using there. So 2 different punches. So as I say, we're using lots and lots of different things, and then we're using 3 different stamp sets. So we're using Floral Essence, and we're using this flower and this flower. And what we've done is we have stamped those in Merry Merlot and black for the centre on each one of those. And the nice thing is you can see the little centres of the flowers, they actually, or the stamens, they actually fit perfectly inside because they have little grooves to help you line them up. And then we are using the butterfly Gala, and we're using the little butterfly down here, which I've cut out and I've coloured using... I use unusual colours, but I have used on the outside our blends, which is Bermuda Bay, and then I've toned it with the light balmy blue. So it has the sort of turquoises and the blues, which will tone in with the card. So that's what we're using with that stamp set. And then the last one is Beauty Abounds, and we're using this tiny little butterfly here. Now, I haven't got the coordinating dies for this one yet, so I've just fussy cut it out. So we've got that one. So that is a lot of different things, but they will all coordinate beautifully. So let's start putting this card together, and I'll talk you through it as we go. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of stamping on here. And we're going to use some of these really pretty leaves. So let me just put the leaf down on here. And we're going to use Old Olive, which is one of the greens that I've chosen. So, you know, coordinate your greens or whatever you want for your background. I've chosen Old Olive, and I think it was Granny Apple Green. I'm not sure. Because it was bits that I had over. So we're going to have the flower sort of there and there. So we are just going to add some leaves in there. So I'm going to have a leaf that's sort of going to come up like this. Then I can put that one back in and see. I find that this is the easiest way for me to do it. So we're then going to have another one coming down on here. So I'm just turning it round, picking this up, and we'll put the other leaf in about there. So that can go in on the top like that. And then I'm going to do one coming out on here, the little leaf. And I think I'm going to do another one at the bottom just to sort of balance it. It will have things in the way, so it might not show very much, but we'll just put another one there. But I really love the shapes of those leaves, and they work so beautifully with the card. There's also a tiny little leaf as well, so you can add that in if you wanted to. I'm not going to on this one because I think it will stand perfectly all right as it is. So let me just clean this one up. As I say, I've done quite a bit of prep for this because otherwise it tends to, my video will go on too long, and I wanted to try and keep this one relatively short. I always say relatively because I waffle on for ages, but that's just my style. So let's start putting some of this together. So we've got our bases. So we're just going to put this on here like that. And as I say, I've cut the friend out. Never waste your bases. I probably could have cut something else out of it, but I'm just going to do that on there. And I think I'm going to use a little bit of my snail today. Let me just get some of that out. My Tombow is getting very low, so I think I might have to use some of my Tombow on this. So I have a little smiley on here because then that tells me which way up it needs to go. That's just my little ways of doing things when I'm a bit cat-handed. So we'll just have a little bit of, is that coming out? That's better. As I say, snail is nice to use. I do like my Tombow, but I like my snail as well. So we have two different things to use. So excuse my head because obviously I haven't got the wiggle room. So let's just try and get that up as evenly as we can on there. It's not too bad. Then we're going to put this piece in over the top like that. And I'm going to use my wet glue for this. As I say, I do like using snail. I use snail for my ribbon quite a lot to adhere my ribbon. I used to use the fast fuse when we had that. But I do tend to use that quite a lot. But I must admit, there is nothing like using Tombow for me. And everybody has their own. Everybody has their own sort of flavour of which they prefer. Whereas I just like this because, as I say, I'm not always the best. And I can be a little bit sort of cat-handed. Okay, so we've got this bit on there. Now, this piece I am going to put up with dimensionals. I'm going to put my flowers on first, and I'm going to put those up with dimensionals as well. So actually I can put it all. Let's get some of the dimensionals out. What have we got? Those are, whoops, those are minis, and I've still got some edge pieces that I need to use up of one of the other ones. Is that another? That's stuck on, that's another mini, so that's fine. Okay, so let's put, don't want too many of them because I want to tuck things sort of in and behind and along the side, so I'm just running it down on the middle. Our dimensionals are really good. They stick so well that you really don't need to worry about them coming out. So let's put this in on the centre like that. And I like the way that the different stitches round there add different sort of textures and things on there. So you've got, you know, the little bits coming out, and it just works for me. Now we're going to put these two on, and let's just take some little side pieces for this. So the nice thing about our dimensionals is that you can use them every single little tiny scrappy piece, because it goes right there up to the sides. So we'll have one just in the centre like that, and we'll have this one in the centre like that. So we don't need too much of it on there, and that one's going to go on there, and this one's going to go down here on the bottom. So we'll put that one in on there. I love the different coloured tones to this card as well. You've got the garden is just beautiful at the moment. So I was saying to you the other day, I've got poppies coming out absolutely everywhere, and I really like that. I really like the fact that we've you know, that there are poppies and things. Oh, I probably should have put that in first, shouldn't I? So I could have got it balanced a bit, but that'll do. So we need to, when you put something in on a bit of an edge like this, the best way to do it is to put a dimensional in on the bottom. So we need to line it up where you want it, and so I want a dimensional right in, says me trying to get my nail underneath, just in on here, and then I'm going to put a bit of Tombow just up in that corner to just adhere that piece. And again, I want a little bit of a sort of a tuck bit underneath, so I can pop some leaves and things in. So we're just going to tuck this one in underneath, keeping it nice and straight, and just put that down at the bottom like that. So you can see it lies completely flat because you've only put the dimensional on one part. Now we're going to poke some little leaves in, and again, I don't know how many I'm going to use. I never really do. I think we'll have sort of one like that, and one coming in underneath there. I quite like that paler tone. I took the bases of each one of them out, so I think I want that paler one in there. I quite like that. I think two might just be perfect on there. Do I want any more sort of coming out over on here? You should have three, shouldn't you? Maybe I should tuck one in. Yes, that looks nice. Okay, so with these little pieces, all I'm going to do is to just take a little bit of wet glue, just a tiny little daub on the top of these little pieces, and then just a little bit on the stalk, so I can then slide it through underneath where I wanted it, and then just sort of position it, and then the glue will just allow it to stick where I want it and then come out on other bits. So we wanted this one in on there, so we'll do that one first, and again just a little bit of glue. I like doing cards like this, which are using, as I say, a bit of everything that we have. Well, not everything because there's so much, but you know, using different products and different sweets and different sets together to create a really beautiful card. And I've got to find that little tuck spot that was in there. It's in about there, wasn't it? So let's just pop that one in there, so that comes in over that leaf, and then this one's just going to go in on the bottom. A little bit on there, and then we'll tuck this one in on here, so that that little leaf just comes over and out. So you've got, as I say, a little bit of character and texture and things going along. Now we want our friend to come down, and I think I might have the friend actually coming across the words like that, but we need to put the little butterflies in on here. So again, butterflies are going up with dimensionals. This is where the minis come in, and it's really great that we have two different sizes of dimensionals, because you don't have to cut them down. you can literally just put these little ones in. They are perfect for going into, you know, little legs, little tiny pieces and things that you want. I might even just take a little snip of this one because it's a little bit bigger and see if I can get it. That might be, is that going to be too long? Measure it out now, I think that'll work. So I'm going to try and get this little piece in on here. Ooh. Just. Okay, so let's work out where we're going to put the butterflies. I want one sort of sitting in the centre there in that space. I want another one coming just down on the top, just sitting in as if it's resting down on that leaf. And then I shall have the third one maybe nestling down in there at that sort of angle. I like to have them in different angles so they're not facing in the same direction. So they look as if they are, you know, naturally sitting down. But I love florals and butterflies. There's some wonderful floral and butterfly books with beautiful artistic impressions and things. And I think, you know what, we have such lovely stamps and things that you can build up these beautifully artistic looking cards using the beautiful supplies that we have, and just remembering that you don't need to use just one stamp set. You can use a few of them together and they just work beautifully. So let's have this one nestling in between on the leaves down on there. Okay, so all we've got to do is to put that little friend in on there. Now what I'm just going to do is I've double die cut it because I like to have just a little bit of extra. It says to me I've got to take it off of this white bit so I don't so I can see it behind, otherwise I'm not going to see what I'm doing. Now I'm only just gluing the center part because the other part is going to just stick out, and I think that works quite well. So I'm just going to put him just across on the bottom in the center like that, so that it's attached to there but then is sort of floating on the other bit. So you've then got that, and I think that that makes a beautiful card. As I say, it's not what you would call a simple card, but again it just is a matter of die cutting out a few of your pieces and putting them in together. Now you could put a little bit of, in fact we could put a little bit of Wink of Stella in the centre of those. Oh, says me taking my aqua painter out. Helps if I get my Wink of Stella. Just a little bit of Wink of Stella on here might just add a little bit of pop. Don't want too much of anything, but I'm just going to do just in the centre of these little stamens here to just add just a little bit of colouring on there. And I'm just going to do it on the, so it's just on the areas that I've done in black, so literally just where that little bit of body was. I think that's it. I don't want, oops, forgotten this one. Don't want to do too much, just a little bit. And I think that that works as an absolutely beautiful card. As I say, you've got all of those the flowers and the butterflies and things all going on together. And as I say, the stamp sets used were Floral Essence for the flowers and the leaves and the little stamped leaf and the sentiment. And then from Beauty Abounds, the lovely little butterfly on there. And then Butterfly Gala for the other two butterflies. So butterfly accents are really good with the Butterfly Gala and the Beauty Abounds. And as I say, it's a fun card. So hope you enjoyed it today and do look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.